Hello there, my dear students. I am so glad because I can finally dish out this important topic that we have to tackle in our subject. Well, it is pretty much amazing because I was able to, find time to record our lesson. Although right now, time check, it is already past 1 a.m. Yeah, that is really how I love, teaching. I'm so passionate of that. Well, do not follow this. It's not really healthy, not sleeping on time. But yeah, we need to also do time management. And I believe this is the perfect time that I can record myself because there is no noise and I can focus on really, dishing out and finally explaining things with utmost, peace in order because there's nobody here that's awake, part of myself. So again, my dear students, welcome to Teaching Physical Education and Health in Elementary Grades. And this has been your teacher Mary Jane Frenites, or teacher MJ. So as student in this subject, you should know what is physical education. Can you still recall your elementary years as to how you're able to learn physical education from your teachers? Mm-hmm. Well, if you could still recall, I hope it was a positive, experience. But if not, I believe this is the perfect time for you to make a difference because sooner or later, whether you like it or not, you will be facing these little kids as their physical education teacher. So you should really know by heart as to what is really physical education in real context of life. So let us now delve deeper in this word physical education. So when you say physical education, it is a course or a subject taught in school that focuses on developing physical fitness. And I must say that effective PE classes help kids develop skill and confidence, maintain physical fitness, learn about personal health and wellness, and demonstrate positive social skills. Imagine, imagine how big your responsibility is. Well, yeah, you cannot, call yourself an effective PE teacher if you're not even able to leave this, values, skills, and knowledge to your students. So it is pretty much amazing to know that as physical education teacher, we are very influential when it comes to developing their life skills. Yeah, I call that life skills because it doesn't only stop in our subject, but this subject actually helps every subject in schools for them to perform better, not only better, but to their utmost best, especially when they are well developed by their physical education teachers. It's like a domino effect. So it must be, a holistic approach as a physical education teacher. So yeah, that is really a big responsibility, I must say. So at this point, let me now uncover to you the curricular philosophy of the K to 12 PE curriculum. Why do we have to tackle this? Well, pretty important because right now we are so busy, training teachers in grade 1 and grade 4 and grade 7 for this matatag curriculum. And as early as now, you must embrace the fact that there are really changes when it comes to the approach and the teaching strategies because the things that worked for us before may not anywhere be relevant in today's generation. So it is really important that as physical education teacher, most especially handling kids, you must know what to focus so that at the end of the day, you're able to really target, the heart and the gist of the PE curriculum in K to 12. So let's get started. This curriculum actually focuses on fitness and movement education, and it includes the value, the knowledge, the skills, and the experiences in physical activity participation in order to first is to achieve and maintain the health related fitness. Second is optimize health. So these are the two vital things that you have to really target in any topic that you will be having in your lesson. So that is very, very important to know. Now, in particular, it hopes to instill an understanding of why health related fitness is important so that the learner can translate the HRF knowledge into action. Look at that. HRF knowledge into action, meaning to say this is actually not only focusing on the things that we used to have before, like terminologies. This is actually focusing on the things that are really relevant. So just like, for example, this one here, you see that? Move to learn. It is the context of physical activity as the means for learning. So this is actually, I must say, different when it comes to saying learn to move. You see the difference? When you say move to learn, it is only the context of physical activity, right? It means, learning the terminologies, learning the things that they must know in order for them to really grasp the terminologies of these words, and, apply it in their, life. But when you say learn to move, this is actually something more than memorizing the terminologies and more than learning the different HRF, because it embodies the learning of skills, techniques, and acquisition of understanding that are requisites to participation in variety of physical activities that includes exercise, games, sports, dance and recreation, and the likes. So see the difference? It's pretty much important that you know the difference between move to learn and learn to move. Now, let us focus on the learning outcomes. When it comes to the outcomes that you must target, first thing first that you have to learn is the K to 12P curriculum develops the student skills in accessing, synthesizing, and evaluating information, making informed decisions, enhancing and advocating their own and others' fitness and health. The knowledge, understanding, and skills underpin the competence, confidence, and commitment required of all students to live an active life for fitness and health. So if you see it here, if you look closely in this part here, evaluating and evaluating information, pretty much relevant in today's world, because as technology develops, there are actually shortcut things that innovative techniques that is being introduced in the social media. So it was physical education teacher, we must really instill to our students that they should learn how to evaluate information, media literacy, right? They also and as a result, they will be able to make informed decision, right? As to how they should decide in a particular matter, most especially if this is something to do with their health, right? For example, diet pills, right? Or any machine that would help someone to lose weight. So, as physical education teacher, we must really instill to their minds that an active lifestyle, there is actually no shortcut to that, and we must embrace the passion and the love of the process of doing the healthy lifestyle, rather than focusing on things that will make it easier for them to do, just for them to lose weight. So I hope I'm making sense. But yeah, that is actually a very, very important skill that your students must develop as early as elementary grades. We also focuses on the knowledge, understanding, and skills underpin the competence. So we develop athletes, great athletes, as early as elementary grades, because they have this competence when it comes to taking advantage of their skills, their physical competence, and also the confidence and commitment required to all students to live a healthy lifestyle. So this is really something very easy to say, but even adults are having a hard time doing this. So imagine the huge responsibility that is now knocking in your doors as physical education teachers. Well, that's actually the things that you have to consider as a physical education teacher. Now let us continue. This one here is the standards. Okay, we prioritize these standards rather. We give premium to the following because we believe that this is very relevant in today's generation. So the first one is habitual physical activity participation to achieve and maintain health enhancing levels of fitness. So look at the word habitual. So we are now forming habits to these young, you know, pupils of yours, grade one, as early as grade one, as early as kinder, right? Because we are somehow instrumental when it comes to forming the daily habit of our students. So, meaning to say that the physical activity participation will not only end in the four walls of the classroom. So, we are, influencing them that they can be more, they can do more, they can influence more people, outside of the class, and they can absolutely form it as a habit. Now, let's proceed to the second one. The second one is competence in movement and motor skills requisite to various physical activity performances. So look at that word competence. Competence meaning to say that this is more than the basic. We are, delving on the skills that may form a prospect great athletes in the future. And motor skills is being emphasized there because in this generation, we cannot deny that our pupils would tend to prefer to have basketball using their tablets and their PCs rather than playing the real basketballs, right? So as PE teachers, we should really inculcate to them that it's totally different skills when you play basketball online rather than play basketball face to face in a real context of basketball. Like they should sweat it out, right? And they should really have that sense of camaraderie with their teammates rather than just moving their hands and their fingers, swiping the tablet and the PCs and the mouse. So that is a challenge, right? I hope you'll accept that challenge right now. And I hope while you're listening to this, you might be saying, oh, teacher MJ, that's too much. Well, yeah, it's really too much. And these things are really vital when it comes to physical education. So we really cannot say na PE ra the I na, because the things that I was like mentioning from the very beginning of the slide, it is indeed a huge responsibility. Now, let's proceed to the third one, valuing physical activities for enjoyment, challenge, social interaction, and career opportunities. So, connected somehow with my examples earlier, right? So, they must value the physical activities that you introduce to them, telling them that we are not doing this class because you have to pass my class. We are actually doing this because I want teacher MJ to see her students enjoy the different, outdoor games and of course face that challenge, because in real life nothing really comes easy. So in your very simple games, they must see challenges there, and that they must be able to develop the decisions that they have to do with their team, and build that teamwork and camaraderie. And in the long run, we are actually developing career opportunities. So these kids might be a future coach, a future athlete that will replace Manny Pacquiao or Diaz, right? Or anyone who are really famous when it comes to the world of sports. So this is actually something really relevant in today's generation. Now, the fourth one is understanding various movement concepts, principles, strategies, and tactics as they apply to the learning of physical activity. So pretty much understandable, right? So we cannot really teach directly the skills without uncovering the foundation of physical activities that we are about to introduce. So they should really know the principles that uncovers behind these activities, why they have to do it, what are the things that they will develop, and what's in it for me as a student or a pupil, right? So as teachers, we should really inculcate that to them. Now, we're done with physical education. Let us now dive into what is health education. So, education is any combination of learning experiences designed to help individuals and communities improve their health by increasing their knowledge or influencing their attitudes. Teacher MJ, why is there the word attitudes? Well, very, very important, because this attitude is somehow vital when it comes to doing informed decisions, right? Your attitude to really um, somehow analyze things that is beyond your imagination, your also molding, the knowledge and the skills of your learners as to why they really have to focus on living a healthy lifestyle. So yeah, this is actually will boils down to discipline, because if you know there is no right attitude when it comes to discipline, this person or this particular student or of yours will really not develop the habitual thing that they have to develop, as mentioned earlier in the earlier slides, right? So they should really be passionate, and they should learn to really embrace the right attitude when it comes to performing physical activities. And in that way, they'll be able to really be effective when it comes to taking good care of their health. That's part of health education. Now, what is the K 12 health curriculum focuses on? So, health curriculum aims to assist the Filipino learner in attaining, sustaining, and promoting lifelong health and wellness. So the learning experience through the program provides opportunities for the development of health literacy, competencies among students, and to enhance their overall well-being. So pretty much, relatable in my example earlier, that we have to really inculcate to them that not everything that they see in the social media, or the things that are valid to do or somehow reliable information. So as help, teacher, we inculcate inculcate to them that attitude of promoting lifelong health and wellness, not relying on the band-aid solution. For example, things that will somehow give them a very, interesting short time to develop a great health without them thinking that there is actually an effect, like an aftermath effect, if they're gonna take that, particular capsule of them being slimmer, right? Like losing weight. So they really have to know these things, as part of the health curriculum is concerned, right? And look at the word overall well-being, meaning to say we are developing a holistic, you know, individual, holistic approach is what we really have to inculcate to our dear pupils. Okay, so we are now moving on to the next one. Health education from kindergarten to grade 10 focuses on the physical, the mental, emotional, as well as the social and moral and spiritual dimensions of holistic health. This is what I have mentioned earlier, which if they're able to master this, they will be able to acquire essential knowledge, attitudes, and skills that are necessary to promote good nutrition, to prevent and control diseases, to prevent substance misuse and abuse, to reduce health related risk behaviors, to prevent the control injuries with the end view of maintaining and improving personal, family, community, as well as global health. Look at that, the word global health. So this context really plays a great role as a PE and health educators, because it lies in our hands, the things that they really have to know, not only in the four walls of the classroom, but we're talking about the global health view of this particular pupil inside our classroom. So things like this is now opening your eyes, right, my dear students, that this is not just a ra, this is not just long, because this really give us huge responsibility to influence our dear pupils. Now, let's proceed to this one. Health education emphasizes the development of positive health attitudes and relevant skills in order to achieve a good quality of living, which is very important nowadays. And only few actually have developed that kind of skills. Thus, the focus on skills development is explicitly demonstrated in the primary grade levels, and that is in your classes, right? So meanwhile, a comprehensive body of knowledge is provided in the upper year levels to serve as a foundation in developing desirable health attitudes, habits, and practices. So pretty much understandable. And this is somehow focusing on what is really relevant in today's generation. Okay, now the curricular philosophy of the K-12 health curriculum includes as well scaffolding on student experience and prior learning, utilizing culture responsive scenarios and materials, meaning to say when you give, physical activities, that should be something that is localized and contextualized. What do you mean by that? you say localized, you have to really be very keen when it comes to giving your examples to your students or to your people, something that they can relate, something that is happening, a scenario that is really relevant in their society. You don't talk on things that is unfamiliar to them, because in that manner you are not really being local, teaching localization. So you have to really be very good when it comes to localizing your lesson, making sure that this is relevant to their location, this is relevant to their place, this is relevant to their community, to their society. And when you say contextualization, you really have to contextualize what are the available materials in place, and the context must be somehow relatable to them. So these are actually the things that you really have to develop. So look at that, engaging learners in meaningful games and cooperative learning activities, and using life skills and value-based strategies, particularly in discussing sensitive topics such as substance abuse and sexuality. Yes, that is a big and huge responsibility, right? That's redundant already. Big and huge responsibility. Because nowadays, believe me or not, as early as that, grade three, because of the social media, their minds are really advanced, and you cannot believe that a student would ask you this thing. So as health education teacher, you must be prepared as to how you're going to position that scientifically, and that they should know logically, scientifically, the effect of the use or misuse of substance, and even when it comes to sexuality, right? And this is to prevent, early pregnancy, and um, in the long run, they must thank you as a teacher, because as early as as elementary, you're able to inculcate it in their minds, the values and the importance of them being very particular with these things, right? So the teachers also advise to use differentiated instruction. Yeah. So in order to cater to the learners of various needs and abilities, as they say, there is no shirt fits to all. So you cannot really expect that your strategy would work to all the type of students that you have in your class, because you as a teacher must prepare differentiated instruction in order for you to address the learning styles of your students and the needs that arises in a particular situation and in a particular student. So yeah, I just really have uncovered how huge your responsibility, our responsibility as physical education and health teacher. I hope that after listening to this, you're not gonna back out as teachers. Instead, you are more excited and more challenged to move forward and to really be studious when it comes to teaching strategies, in order for you to have those things put in action and put in reality as teachers. So yeah, God bless everyone. And I must say that starting today, you must really love to be a physical education teacher, because you're not only teaching a particular subject, focusing on solving particular problem when it comes to numbers, or shall we say a skill that is only going to be applicable only in the four walls of the classroom, but this is actually a huge context that we must really learn to master. So that is how huge our responsibility. I've said that several times because that is really the reality. That is the real context of you being a physical education teachers in elementary grades. Yeah, because it starts with you. Imagine that is the foundation, and that is the reason why there's a lot of students who doesn't like PE in their high school years, because during their elementary years they're not able to enjoy and they're not able to understand what is really the real context of this class, physical education and health. So that is really a huge challenge to you guys. Now, since we're done already with our lesson, I want you guys to answer these two questions. First is, why is it important to teach physical education in the elementary grades or elementary? Second is, how important is teaching health in the basic education? So again, do not use Google, do not use ChatGPT in answering this. I can easily sense if you're using these things, because of course I have my own way of checking it. So make sure that you will answer this straight from the heart after listening attentively to teacher MJ. So I hope you learned something from this, and I hope that in our face-to-face class you will be able to share your insights as to what you have realized after watching and listening to our lesson, through this video lesson. So the answers to these two questions must be done in our GC, making sure that I will be able to, accept or somehow record your scores. I will be sending a link for that, and you will be answering this one through that Google link that I will be sending later on. Okay. So for now, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have learned something from this lesson. Have a beautiful day ahead and take care always. Bye. See you next time.